What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You guys already know it's fitting to go down today. So guess what? Now turn that off, turn it all the way off. Yeah. All right, you know it's another episode, and please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that sports podcast where we talk about all of the hot topics in sports, as well as discuss the necessary issues in life that need to be discussed. And I'm going to tell you, over the last month, it has been a lot of life. It has been a lot of life because of everything that has been going on in the world, all of the civil unrest, all of the justified civil unrest, if you ask me, that's been going on. But anyway, before I get into everything, how is everybody doing today? It is cloudy. It's been a cloudy, nasty last couple of days here in Richmond, Virginia. The weather right now is, let me see, it is 65 degrees, cloudy, chance of showers, all that other good stuff. But I'm not the weatherman. But I'm off today, so I'm trying to get an early start, And, we got some things we need to talk about. And it is Wednesday, June 17th. 2020, and my God, has this not been the craziest first 5.5 months of any year that anybody my age, or maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, has ever seen in their lifetime? I mean, 2020 has just been the gift that keeps on giving, and the gifts that have been given is bullshit. I mean, for real. I mean, goodness gracious. Think about this. Think about all of the wide range of emotions that we've gone through just in 2020, just from January to where we are now in the middle of June, not even officially summertime yet. We've gone through, at the beginning of the year, the world was in mourning because of the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant. And then right after Kobe, I say about almost a little less than 2 months later, here comes the outbreak of the coronavirus, of COVID-19. Now the emotions are fear. Everybody's buying up groceries. You can't find no damn toilet paper nowhere. You can't find nothing. Kroger's look like they've been looted and abandoned. So do Walmart. So we have now fear. We're now as springtime comes, with the emotion of the world, at least in this country, is fear. And then it's anxiety, anxiousness. How long are we going to be on quarantine? How long are a lot of people going to not be able to or not advised to leave their homes? And then in May, just last month, we were met with outrage at the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, which was covered up. And then Breonna Taylor right after that. And then the tipping point, George Floyd, the knee to the neck. Now the world's emotions is outrage, anger. We have protests, we have riots, and it's just crazy. All of this bundled up in less than 5 months in 2020. This has been crazy. States are starting to open back up. There's now the outbreaks in about 18 other states that have kind of resurfaced with COVID. So we'll get all into that. So, without further ado, let's get to it, bruh. Well, pretty much what has been happening is civil unrest in sports have been going hand in hand. So it's really no reason for me to sit here and talk about, hey, let me talk about this issue that's going on as far as systemic racism and the fight for equal equality, and then let me veer off to a subject of just sports. It is all going hand in hand right now. Starting with the Players Coalition that is headed by Kyrie Irving and Avery Bradley. Now, everything really started with a comment that Stephen Jackson, who has really been at the forefront of this fight for equality, because we know how close he was with George Floyd. They damn it looked like they could have been brothers. And he said something that has really resonated with a lot of people.
Man, I love the NBA, man. I got, that's my family. But now ain't the time to be playing basketball, y'all. Now ain't the time. Playing basketball is going to do one thing. Take all the attention off the task at hand right now and what we fighting for. Everybody going to be worrying about the playoffs. They're going to have all that blasted all over the TV. And nobody's going to be talking about getting justice for all these senseless murders by the police. And nobody's going to be focusing on the task at hand, bro. None of these white owners have spoken up. None of them are taking a stand. Yeah, they might post a video when the season starts or saying what we should do, but they ain't doing nothing. Playing basketball ain't going to do nothing but make them money and take the attention of what we fighting for, what we marching for. It's bigger than all of us, and it's bigger than the game, and I'm sad that we still got to explain that to people, bro. Sad.
Well, that's, like I said, a lot of people are pointing at Kyrie Irving, excuse me, and Avery Bradley, who have now come out public saying that they don't want to play. They don't think we should play. Dwight Howard as well, saying that they don't think the NBA should resume because of the social justice issues, the social injustice issues. That right now this is a big opportunity, an opportunity that this nation has never seen before in regards of making real changes, to gain equality. So I'm not faulting them for that. And like I said, it really started with Steven Jackson. People are pointing at Kyrie and Dwight Howard. It really started with Stacks, and nobody's gonna. I don't think nobody's gonna call him to the forefront. I think Stephen A. Smith had something to say yesterday. He said it very respectfully because Steven Jackson, he ain't playing, and I applaud him. I applaud everybody who's been a part of this movement. And I am very torn as far as to what I believe in regards to should the NBA players play or should they not play? Because basically what you're saying is you want to drive the point home. Hey, we do something that, you guys love to see. And if we don't do it, then guess what? Y'all are going to suffer and y'all are going to be hit in y'all pockets. Now, of course, LeBron James is saying that he's all in, but this was before, these comments were made. But there were other players like Patrick Beverley who said if King James is hooping, we all hooping. But then you have guys like Kyle Korver, white NBA players who's on the Milwaukee Bucks saying, look, if my black brothers and NBA players don't feel like they should play because of the social justice issues, then I stand with them. So what it's doing is creating a rift, it's creating a divide, and I don't know. It's like, because the players are gonna be in this bubble in Orlando where it's gonna be very restricted. I mean, they'll have access to a pool, golf course, but they'll be constricted there for the rest of the season, or at least until as teams get eliminated, there'll be less and less teams there. But the teams who are still playing, who are still active, they're not going to be able to go anywhere. So it's going to be tough. And I guess they're saying, how can we push the message out there? I know Avery Bradley was, just released some things saying that, hey, we would like to see owners fund more black-owned businesses. We'd like to see the NBA partner up with more black-owned businesses and things of that nature, which is I definitely agree with. I mean, there are ways that you could counterpunch where you should be able to play and protest at the same time. Now, see, you wouldn't be able to play and then the next day go lead a march. You wouldn't be able to do that. But you can go the Marshawn Lynch route. When the game is over and you're being interviewed, you're saying, hey, such and such, you just scored 20 points and had 12 rebounds and 10 assists. How do you think you played? You just simply answer, George Floyd. Or they ask you another question. Hey, so-and-so, you hit the game-winning shot. You're going to advance to the next round, or you're going to advance to the playoffs. How do you feel? Ahmaud Arbery. And, you do things like that because things did not get any better over this weekend. Lynchings in California. Like we're stepping back to the 1940s and 50s. in Mississippi and Alabama. And then in Atlanta, Rayshard Brooks, gunned down by the police as he's running away, gets shot in the back and dies by a white cop in Atlanta. I mean, I'm not going to go into a whole segment as far as that goes the way I did with Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and not saying that it's any less important, because it is. It's just, it's so much stuff now happening at one time. I'm incorporating it all in, but you know, after that happened, I mean, apparently he got into a tussle with the police. He was asleep at the wheel and drive-through of Wendy's. You know, the police arrest him, I guess, for being intoxicated in public or whatever. You know, and a tussle ensues. He grabs a taser, running away. I guess shoots the taser at the police officer, running away. And he gets shot and killed by the cops as he's running away. That's my problem right there. Running away. He's not coming forward to you trying to start any drama, cause any violence. He wants to get away. What people and anybody who tries to justify that killing by a police officer, let me tell you this. First of all, what you have to understand as a black person in this country, no matter what the situation is, when we get pulled over by the police or when we have encounters with the police, we are fucking terrified because we feel like literally our life is on the line. I've come into that situation myself. We feel like our lives are on the line because cops may not say it, but their actions show totally different. The police view black men as criminals first, citizens later. You could be absolutely clean, nothing, no drinking, no tail lights out, nothing, just randomly pulled over by the police, and we've done nothing wrong, we have nothing to hide, and we're still nervous because we are viewed differently. We always have been viewed differently. That's what we're trying to say. And you know, this kid shouldn't have been killed. And I say kid, 27 years old, grown ass man, wife, kids. When he woke up, did he think that was going to be a wrap? I posted a short video on YouTube, me talking about it. It's just ridiculous. You know, they don't get it. And what's really pissing me off is how these cops, now they've been fired. No, fuck a firing. They need to be treated as such. They need to suffer the consequences of their actions. They need to be tried as criminals, and they need to go to fucking jail. They don't need to just lose their job. They need to lose their freedom. That's what they need to lose. And so often now, what you think you're really doing anything by firing cops? You think that's really you think you're doing something as far as them killing unarmed black people or protesters who, because they're going after people who ain't black too. Do you think that's gonna do anything? Oh, you do this, you're gonna lose your job. Ooh, wow. I still get to go home at night. I still get to see my family, while this person that I just decided to kill, pop, stranglehold, whatever, they don't get to do so. No. I salute the mayor of Atlanta for what she has done, but no, they need to be arrested. They need to be prosecuted. They need to be thrown in jail. Not for no simple little 2-year term. They need to be thrown in jail for decades, if not the rest of their fucking life. And that's the way I feel about it. Because what people have to understand is that the protests have been wonderful. You still have to, don't stop. Don't stop. Because one of the reasons why you haven't heard anything from so many of these owners, these rich white billionaires, is because they're just still waiting for the storm to pass. They said, okay, once we get into our season, nobody will remember this anymore. And that's what Steven Jackson and Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard and Avery Bradley are afraid of. They said once the season starts, the public outcry and demands will dissipate. They'll be watching their favorite athletes dribble the ball, shoot shots, catch alley-oops, get rebounds, dunks, score touchdowns, hit home runs, make interceptions, make tackles. And that's what and as a sports fan, that's what I want to see. But this is bigger than that. And also there's a damn scary part to this that people need to understand. Is that there are still millions of people in this country who are okay with the way things were, who don't want to see things change, who are appalled and offended by the fact that the Confederate flag is going down in NASCAR, the fact that these statues are being ripped and thrown into lakes and thrown into ponds, and they're being spray painted on. There are people who are that people will kneel for the flag. There are people who are just simply outraged by it, and they're not going to go down quietly. That's the scary part. Lynchings in California. Just last night in Texas, lynchings in Texas, hate crimes. You have to understand this, and I'm not I'm not being pessimistic, I'm being realistic. This is something, it's going to get very ugly before it gets better. It's going to get very ugly. Because you're talking about a system that has favored one race over the other race, or one race over the other races in this country for over 400 years. Now, we've made baby steps, and that's all we've had. That's honestly, in the grand scheme of things, all we've made is baby steps. One huge leap with the 44th president of the United States of America. But we have made really baby steps from the Emancipation Proclamation. And that was what? 150, almost damn near 200, or like 150 years ago? 160, 170 years ago? We've made baby steps till then. And when I say baby steps, we can use the same bathroom. We can sit on the bus. We can eat in the same restaurants. We can go to the same schools. Those are baby steps. We can vote. We can have interracial marriages. Now those are, you equal up all of those baby steps and they turn into big steps. But at the top, you know, when it comes to making changes in the law, changes in power, this is what we're fighting for, of being viewed as truly equal and not viewed as less, which we were originally brought over here and looked at, and were really, and to this day, are still looked at by the people who have a problem with the Confederate flag being removed, who have a problem with Robert E. Lee statues being removed, who have a problem with the KKK possibly being labeled as a terrorist group. Are you fucking kidding me? This stuff is almost funny to me, man. It's almost funny to me. How can you have a problem with Al-Qaeda or Middle Eastern terrorist groups? How can you label those? How can you label that terroristic groups? And you've had a terroristic organization for over 150 years. Right here in America. And that's not labeled as a terroristic group because what? Because they were originated in America? Think about this shit, people. I mean, please think about that. We look at Adolf Hitler as the devil, but there's an American Nazi Association that's not considered a terrorist group. We look at Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein as the devil, but we have a statue in Tennessee of the man who created the KKK. I mean, think about this. Something is seriously wrong there. And it's also something seriously wrong that people are okay with it. There are still people that are okay with it. There are people that are offended that NASCAR did not want, that NASCAR is taking the Confederate flags down. There are race car drivers who are retiring, who are quitting NASCAR because they're removing the Confederate flag. And to that I say, bye, bitch. Sayonara. Toodle fucking ooh. Peace. You lost. But again lies the scary part. This has been a system that has largely favored one race over the other races in this country. And they're not going down quietly. This is going to get very ugly. Lynchings are going to reemerge. They already have. But they're going to reemerge more. I pray to the Heavenly Father that I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. You had the lynchings in California. You had the lynchings yesterday in Texas. But what's even more insulting is they're trying to say it was a suicide. What? Bullshit. So black people are going to actually hang themselves from trees freely. Now, if you said a black person hung himself in jail, okay, fine, you got me. But black people are going to willingly hang themselves. What point are you trying? What point would those black people have been trying to prove? I mean, come on. Don't slap me in my face, point my face up to the sky and say, now the sky is green, right? Come on, man. Don't do that. Come on, man. And that's the and this is the this is the attention that needs to be focused on. We need to look at this attention, and we have to weed out all of these people who are support of not looking and seeing things eye to eye when it comes to racial equality. And that's what these NBA players are afraid is going to happen when the NBA resumes. Now, NASCAR has resumed. I'm not trying to be funny. NASCAR isn't as popular as basketball or football. Hey, look, if baseball don't start up, I could give a damn. I could really care less if baseball don't go because the commissioner has turned me off to baseball after that shit he let fly with the Houston Astros. But, you know, boxing has started back up. You haven't had the right fighter fight, but it's a difference between boxing. It's a difference between boxing when you're talking about somebody going in there for one night. And with this schedule, the way the NBA is going to do it, you're going to have games every night. Teams are going to be playing every other night. You know, it's going to be a rush. It's going to be like NFL Red Zone, you know, and you know, they're afraid that people aren't going to want to protest, that people are going to watch. They're going to want to watch the games. This is what I would do if I was the NBA players. I would encourage fans to protest and then watch the games later. They're always replayed. They always replay them on ESPN. They always replay them on NBA TV. That's what I would do. I would say, hey, you guys, if you plan to protest, go protest. Watch us play later. It'll be on repeat. It always is. It always is. And, you know, it's just going one by one by one by one, you know, the domino effects. And this is what we have to be careful of, you know. So it's hard for me to say because I want to see the playoffs. This season of all seasons is what would had to get interrupted by a damn pandemic. A year that everybody was looking for because of, you know, you got LeBron and AD, you got Kawhi and Paul George, you got Westbrook and Harden on teams, you got the Milwaukee Bucks trying to get to the NBA Finals, you got the defending champion Raptors, you got, I mean, the NBA was such, I was actually hyped about this NBA season for the first time in a long time. Then here comes COVID. Now here comes idiot ass cops. But I mean, honestly, as far as what happens with the social issues, there needs to be equality. There needs to be equality. But what's happening is everybody's dirty laundry is coming out. Everybody's heard about Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State University, the football coach, who was wearing this T-shirt of this network, this right-wing network that has conspiracy theories, reports Donald Trump, and had a reporter that said Black Lives Matter is a farce. And he's gonna wear that shirt while he's fishing, take pictures in it and everything else. Come out public and say he likes the network, by the way. But then once his star running back calls him to the carpet, he's gonna say, "Oh, I didn't realize the insensitivities." And see, that's the thing that gets me. Yes, you did. You just got caught, you lying piece of shit. Yes, you did. You know exact. Come on now. If you've been the coach of of a major university for 15 years, you're not dumb by any stretch of the means. You ain't a great coach. You win enough just to keep your damn job. You win enough to get y'all to a bowl game every year, and every now and again get yourself to a major bowl game. But come on, man, don't play stupid. I'm mad that the damn running back player said, well, I should have bought it to him first. Nah, bruh, in today's comment, normally I would agree with that. But in today's comment, given that topic, no, he needed to be called on the carpet on Front Street. This dude is a clown, Mike Gundy. He's a fucking idiot. But he stays in that circle, that bubble known as Oklahoma, which is right next to that bubble of Texas, who thinks that the way that things have been over the past 400 years, or even since Jim Crow, who thinks things have been okay, that things are all right. We don't want things to change. Just like Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. When Colin Kaepernick first kneeled, he said, my players will stand for the national anthem or else. Now, 4 years later, Colin Kaepernick has been proven right. Players are going to kneel no matter what your goddamn owners or anything have to say. And you haven't heard a peep out of Jerry Jones, not a peep of support or nothing. Why do you think that is? Jerry Jones is just worried about his bottom line. He don't give a fuck about racial equality. Jerry, do you think? I swear, I pray I wish somebody answers this on the comment box. Do you think Jerry Jones wants a black owner in the NFL? I'm gonna repeat that. I really hope whoever listens to this will answer this in the comment box. Do you think Jerry Jones wants a black owner in the NFL? And I'll let the answers, if there are any answers, I'll let that take its course. I'm serious. Because I'd be hard pressed to believe it. Like I said, everything now is all intertwined, all in the same bubble. Oklahoma State University, their coach is a clown. They need to get rid of him. Okay, he's Mr. $5 million a year paid coach who makes his money off of the blood, sweat, and tears of young black athletes, and he's going to sit there and support a network that says that has a reporter that calls Black Lives Matter a farce and say, well, I didn't realize the insensitivity. Man, you lying, you capping, bruh. You lying through your fucking teeth. You're lying. You just got caught, homie. That's exactly what it is. You just got caught, homie. Now own it. And they should fire your ass. You ain't, you know, all of the stuff that's been going on with Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney's players have come to support for him. Man, they ain't one Oklahoma State player said, no, that's my coach. Man, please. Please. You ain't Dabo. I don't necessarily agree with everything Dabo has said. You ain't Nick Saban. You ain't Urban Meyer. You are Gundy. Clown ass coach. And these apologies by these people who are saying these things and, you know, they're saying, oh, I didn't realize how insensitive I was. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. You're wearing your heart was in your first statement. Now you're trying to save face and clean up the mess you made. I'm not buying it. I don't totally buy Drew Brees' apology. I don't think Drew Brees is a racist person. With Drew Brees, I think his eyes, he was seeing tunnel vision. You know, because of his grandparents and military, he was so focused on, okay, this is the way things are supposed to be. Now, coming from an actual player in the locker room, I expect more than that. I mean, he's cleaned his mess up pretty good. Drew Brees has done some good damage control. But these other apologies, I mean, I don't totally 100% buy Drew Brees' apology, even though he has kept his foot on the gas with it. So, you know, he'll get more brownie points from me for that. But these other apologies, I ain't buying it, man. You trying to make sure that you don't fuck with your money. Because right now, this is the hot thing to do. Supporting Black Lives Matter is the hot thing to do. But this is one reason why I believe these owners are just chilling back, waiting in the weeds, waiting for their sports to start because they think this will pass. And we cannot let this pass. We have to be on the forefront protesting every day. Athletes, if you still want to play but you still want to protest, answer your questions to the media with questions about protests, or name a name, say a name a cause. Don't let this get out of the psyche of the American public, of the world public, because the world has stepped up big time. Man, sports plus life. That's what this is. That's what this really, really is. This is really sports plus life. You know, it is. And we can't forget, COVID is still here. Ezekiel Elliott just tested positive for the coronavirus. You know, I believe he'll be fine. I believe he'll quarantine up and he'll be better. But you're still gonna have players that have reservations about that. And it's just a crazy time. Like I said, 2020, the first 5.5 months are something we'll never forget. I hope the next 6.5 months are 10 times better. But with these changes that need to be made in our country, in our lives, like I said, they're going to be people that want things the way that they are. That they're going to live by that fuck slogan for Trump's campaign, which is "Keep America Great." And keep America great for who? And when has America been great? For some. You know, and a systematic change is not going to come within the span of a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Not one where you have people that will do whatever to keep things the way that they were. But we have to keep fighting. This is as much of a fight of good versus evil as it is a fight against fair and unfair. I'm telling you guys. So with that being said, where the buzzer. Trust me, man, I can't wait till I feel that I can just come on here and act a fool and be a clown and have all of those backgrounds that I have during my show. It's just some things that are just more important right now. But you know, when sports resumes, of course, I'll be here to give my opinions, thoughts, and predictions. I'll have some new segments coming up. I'll still have guest callers and quite possibly a co-host, baby. So, but yes, but it is Father's Day coming up this weekend. So definitely a shout out to all of the fathers out there, all the real ones who handle their business, take care of, if anything else, take care of their kids. You know, just the ones who take care of their family and their kids, great. But you know, you have kids, just be a real father, real man, take care of them kids, handle your business. And let's have some real appreciation to the fathers, to the real fathers, okay? We make a big deal out of Mother's Day. We remember Father's Day the day before. Okay, so anyway, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. This has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. I'm going to get back at y'all ASAP. Peace.